Hello, I'm just testing. Hello, good evening. We're gonna start in a minute or so. Hello, good evening, or good morning, good afternoon, depends on where you're watching this from. Hello, JP Super Monkey. Thank you for telling me the audio is good because I've been having some trouble lately. I'm not very lucky with that. But welcome. And today we are going to practice a little bit our reading and vocabulary skills for the EIKEN Pre-2 test. So, if you are here to improve your English skills or if you are just looking to reinforce your basics, you are in the right place. We are going to explore a reading passage. I'm going to explain some words. We're going to discuss a little bit of vocabulary. And after that, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about that passage. So we are going to be reading, improving our vocabulary skills, and also practicing for the. I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought right now. Practicing for the speaking test, right? Because on the speaking test, we have a reading passage where we have to answer a couple of questions, not only based on the reading, but also based on the pictures, and two questions that are personal. Thank you. And after that, after we do the reading, we are going to practice a little bit more vocabulary, okay? Just three questions, I believe, where we're going to have some answer choices to fill in a couple of sentences. Well, with no further ado, let's get started. Well, this is our email from Alice to Charles, her Uncle Charles, and we are going to start analyzing here these words, these bold words. They are darker than the other words. So we're going to start with the word pleased. Again, pleased, which means to be happy or glad about something. Our next word is recipe, okay? Recipe is like a cooking plan that helps you prepare a dish, tells you what ingredients you should add, how long you should cook it. So that's a recipe. Our next word is looking forward. Looking forward means when you are really excited about something that is going to happen, okay? When you really expect something to happen soon. As in this passage, Alice is looking forward to her trip to Florida. So she is excited about her trip to Florida. Our next word, I'm sorry, is not related to vocabulary but to pronunciation. Okay, so we have a river. We have Oklawaha. Oklawaha. So Oklawaha River. Our next one is vocabulary. The word is seems. When we talk about seems, it gives the idea that something appears to be or looks, okay? But we are not completely sure about it. So it says that it seems like a very beautiful area. So it appears to be very beautiful. It might be. Our next word is canoe. And canoe is a small boat. It's pretty hard to explain, at least for me it is, because I do not understand much about boats. So take a look at a canoe. This is a canoe. Our next word is, actually it's not a word, it's a phrase, right? Get there, get somewhere, which means to arrive somewhere. For example, when I get home, I'll call you. So when I arrive home. I will call you. So, to arrive. Our next phrase or next expression is I wonder if. I wonder if gives the idea that you are curious about something. You are asking yourself about something. For example, I look out the window and I say, I wonder if it's going to rain today. So I'm curious, is it going to rain? That's the idea of I wonder if. And our final word is borrow. To borrow. So in this case, it means that you want to use something that belongs to someone else. So you ask the person to use it, you borrow it from the person. For example, you can borrow a book. You read the book, and after that, you return the book to the person. So these are our words. Now I'm going to let me just a second. Okay. Now I'm going to read the passage with you guys. Let's practice a little bit our pronunciation. If you want, you can shadow me. You can repeat after me. So I will be reading quite slowly so you can pay attention to the words. And remember that as you read, really try to open your mouth and not mouse. Open your mouth and pronounce the words clearly, okay? And don't try to read very fast. It's good to read fast, of course, because we gain fluency. But sometimes if I see students trying to speak very fast and they end up having problems with pronunciation. So first, read slowly. Start reading slowly, and gradually you can increase the pace of your reading as you gain more confidence, more vocabulary, because it will make your reading really clear. And for the EIKEN test, the reading part, the speaking part, you need to have a clear pronunciation. Thank you for that, JP Super Monkey. Well, let's move on. Then I'm going to do the reading, and let's start. Dear Uncle Charles, it was great to see you and Aunt Maureen at Dad's 50th birthday party last month. Dad was very pleased with the book on Indian cooking that the two of you gave. He has been trying out some of the recipes, and he made a delicious chicken curry yesterday evening. My college friends and I are really looking forward to our trip to Florida after Christmas. Thank you for letting me stay at your vacation home near Oklawaha River. I checked on the internet. It seems like a very beautiful area. We are planning to rent a canoe to use on the river. You said that we will be the first people to use the house in 3 months, and that we will have to clean it up when we get there. Do you have cleaning supplies there, or should we bring some? My friend Richard will drive us to Florida in his car. I wonder if you could send me directions to the house by email. I will print them out for Richard. Also, I will need to borrow the house key from you. Can I come to your apartment to pick it up on December 23rd? Best wishes, Alice. Well, now that we read the passage, I just want to highlight here the word, actually the phrase cleaning supplies. Cleaning supplies refers to any kind of materials that you use for cleaning, like brooms, mops, cleaning sprays, soap. So that's the idea of cleaning supplies. And now I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and you are going to search for the answers in the passage, and then let's rephrase them. Remember that when we answer, we try to rephrase Say it in different words to show that we really understand and that we have vocabulary. Well, our first question is, where are Alice and her friends planning to go after Christmas? Again, where are Alice and her friends planning to go after Christmas? Take a look at the passage. I'll give you about 5 to 10 seconds. That's correct, JP Super Monkey. Okay, to Florida. Okay, we have here in this passage, my college friends and I are really looking forward to our trip to Florida. So to Florida is perfectly fine, but let's make a full sentence. Okay, remember that for tests we try to give answers as formal as possible. And one thing in English, we always have to mention the subject: he, she, it, or they in this case. Let's take a look here. They are planning to go to Florida. Very simple answer. I addressed the task perfectly, answering, and I mentioned the subject. They, Alice and her friends, they're going to go to Florida. Actually, they are planning to go to Florida. Let's move on to our next one. Ooh. Okay, sorry about that. Too many clicks. So, how is Alice going to Florida? Let's take a look there. How is Alice going to Florida? Let's take a look at the passage. Here, Alice says, my friend Richard will drive us to Florida in his car. So, perfectly rephrased. Alice says my, but when you guys answer, just like JP Super Monkey said, her friend will drive her to Florida. Perfect. Thank you. Another sample. Her friend Richard will drive her there in his car. So JP Super Monkey's answer is perfectly fine. And you have another sample here. Let's go to our next question. What is she going to do on December 23rd? One more time. What is she going to do on December 23rd? Take a look. And here, let's look at the passage. Also, I need to borrow the house key from you. Can I come to your apartment to pick it up on December 23rd? Not exactly, JP Super Monkey. They are going to clean the house. Let me see. On December 23rd, she says here, can I come to your apartment to pick it up? So it refers to the keys. So her intention is to get the keys at her uncle's house, at her uncle's apartment. On December 23rd, she's going to pick up her uncle's house key. Okay, she's going to get the keys for the house. Okay, but nice try. Thank you. Let's move on to our next question. I believe we have one more. I'm not completely sure. Yes, we do. Okay. Why do Alice and her friends need to clean up the house when they get to Florida? Now that's your answer, JP Super Monkey. Okay? Why do they need to clean up when they get to Florida? Let's take a look at this passage right here. Look. You said that we will be the first people to use the house in 3 months and that we will have to clean it up when we get there. So there is the reason, okay? Because yes, exactly, okay, JP Super Monkey, thank you so much. They are the first people to arrive at the house. Yes, that's the idea, because they will be the first people to use the house in 3 months. So I do believe the house needs some cleaning, right? Well, let's move on. Now we have come to the end of our reading passage, and we are going to build a little bit more vocabulary with some grammar exercises. We're going to have some sentences, and we're going to have to choose the correct answer choice to complete each of our sentences. So let's get started. Sentence number 1. My father travels between Osaka and Tokyo for business. He has been going between these two cities for 2 years now. So he has been going in between these two cities for 2 years now. Letter B. He has been going back between these two cities for 2 years now. Or letter C. He has been going back and forth between these two cities for 2 years now. I'll give you a couple of seconds. Think, and let's check your answers. JP Super Monkey, that is correct, okay? He has been going back and forth between these two cities for 2 years now. So back and forth means moving from one place to another place, and after that returning to the first place. So it's a repeated movement, okay? That's why it's back and forth. Back does not give the idea of going from one place to another and then returning back as repeating this movement, okay? Back is, for example, I usually go back home after school. So it just gives the idea that I go straight home, okay? It's not about repeating movements. Well, let's move on to our next sentence. What's wrong? There has been a car accident. An ambulance now. Look for an ambulance now. Call for an ambulance now. Or talk to an ambulance now. That is correct, JP Super Monkey. Thank you so much for your participation. It is letter B, okay? Call for means asking for something, right? So you have to ask for an ambulance. You have to ask for help. That's the idea of call for. When we look for something, it means that we cannot see it, we cannot find an object, and we are searching for that object. That is the idea of look for. And talk to is to have a conversation with someone. So there has been an accident, call for an ambulance, ask for an ambulance. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3, going to space is a very exciting job, but we should not forget about the of space travel. We should not forget about the fun of space travel. We should not forget about the danger of space travel. Or we should not forget about the enjoyment of space travel. Again, you are absolutely correct, okay? JP Super Monkey. The correct answer is danger. And here, going to space is a very exciting job. Exciting is something fun, something pleasant. And then our next clause starts with a but. So we know that after this, we need a contrasting idea, a different point of view, something that opposes to excitement. So the best one is danger, okay? Because fun and enjoyment, they are related to excitement. So I want the opposite. So going to space is a very exciting job, but we should not forget about the danger of space travel, the risk. Danger gives the idea of something that can pose a risk or that can be harmful to someone. Now let's move on. We have one more. Oh, actually we do not have one more. I apologize for that. Well, we have come to an end for today's live stream. And thank you very much for watching. I really hope that you found this video helpful. And remember to practice. Try to make sentences if you learned any new words. And the more you practice, the easier is to make this new vocabulary, an active vocabulary. Okay, so practice your English every day. Write a little bit every day. Come home from school and write a couple of things you did at school, something you enjoyed, anything. It doesn't have to be much. If you sit down and write a little bit for 10 minutes every day, you are going to start using your vocabulary actively, and it will come out more naturally as you speak or as you write because you get used to it. So if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. And hopefully next week I'll be back with a little bit more of writing practice. So if you want tips for writing, or if you have any requests on a lesson, let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to prepare it for you. Okay, guys? Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.